Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Thursday edition of the Full Count MLB Sports Betting Show presented to you by SportsMemo and Wager Talk. My name is Eric Pauly, and today, as always on the Full Count Show, we'll be breaking down three of the marquee matchups on this small but usable Thursday MLB slate, and of course, give a best bet at the end of the show. It's going to be a two-man show today. I am joined by one of the best MLB and overall handicappers on SportsMemo, Mr. Kevin Thomas. Kevin, how are you? Happy Thursday. How are you doing so far?
Good. Looks like it's a tag team. Me and you, Eric. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Even though we're down a man does not mean we are down any winners, because Kevin and I are certainly going to go in depth on all of these MLB matchups for today, give you guys some winners and give you guys some exciting and interesting betting angles for these matchups. So we are going to jump right into it. The first game we're covering is going to be the Philadelphia Phillies headed to Miami to take on the Marlins. The Marlins were officially eliminated from the playoff contention for this season. No postseason baseball in Miami, which we all could have seen coming from their abysmal offensive outing all season long. But alas, officially they're eliminated. The Phillies, on the other hand, they have a 4.5 game lead for that second spot in the NL wild card. They actually lead this season series between Miami 12-6. So, of course, this is a matchup that the Phillies would love to take a W in. For a number of reasons. Marlins are a team that's clearly rolling over and dying a little bit. They've scored just 2 runs in their last 2 games. The Phillies need to bolster their standings by getting some wins. Syndergaard is going for the Philadelphia Phillies. He will face Pablo Lopez, who has had kind of as ups and downs this season, no doubt, and is kind of looking like he's on a downhill turn. But considering that Lopez has been bad and Syndergaard, who's been really good since being acquired by Philadelphia, the Phillies opened as minus 150 money line, favorites on the money line. Right now, it's down to about the Phillies minus 120. Total still sitting at 7.5. Kevin, what are you looking at in this matchup? Where do you see value and how are you looking to bet this game?
I do have a premium on this game, but I will give my analysis for the total here. What we're seeing here is, like Eric pointed out, the Marlins have scored 2 runs in the last 2 games. And that's nothing of what we've seen all season with them, especially, with Chisholm out and stuff. He was probably their best hitter, and then Soler went out. So this team really relied on the pitching, and they rely on their ballpark. It is a pitcher's park, and Pablo has struggled his last 2, but he's always pitched great against my Phillies, and I'll say my Phillies. And in the 2-1 loss for the Marlins in the first game, you had 2 bullpen pitchers in Nance and Sulser for the Marlins that pitched gems. They came in, did their job. They're going to be eligible. They'll be probably in there today. And on the same side with the Phillies, if Syndergaard can go 6 innings, which I'm sure he will, you're going to see my guy, Sir Anthony Dominguez, and then you're going to see David Robertson to finish out the game. So I expect another low scoring. I think the 7.5 is a little high. I would take the total at 5, and I would lock in the under 7.5 for an easy win.
There you have it from Kevin Thomas, under 7.5. He has a premium play on this game, and clearly he's broken down this matchup in detail. So definitely take a look at what he has on the premium side. I actually wrote about this game this morning, and I'm leaning toward taking the Phillies on that money line. I still got it when it was at minus 140, and now it's kind of come down, meaning maybe there was some money coming in on the Marlins, but I still think the Phillies are the better bet in this matchup. Looking at Syndergaard, something that stuck out to me is while he's 6-2, the Phillies are 6-2 in his starts since he's been traded from the Angels to Philadelphia. But the teams that he played in those starts were the Nationals twice, the Marlins one time, the Reds twice, the Pirates, and the 49ers. So Syndergaard's kind of made his bones in Philadelphia, pitching against bad teams. And what does he have tonight? A bad team in Miami. So I would love to see what Kevin ends up putting out for that premium side once it goes live. But for myself, I'm all over the Phillies on that money line against the Marlins tonight in Miami. So we're going to head now over to the middle of the country, the Kansas City Royals hosting the Minnesota Twins. The Royals, of course, they're out of playoff contention. The Twins had a good shot of really kind of gaining some ground in the AL Central, have been squandering that opportunity. Now they're 5 games back in that Central if they want to win that division and make the postseason. Again, it is getting to now or never time in Major League Baseball. Fortunately for Minnesota, they're playing a team whose number they have. The Twins lead the season series against the Royals 11-4. We have lefty Daniel Lynch, who has actually been pretty solid this season. I like watching him pitch. I think he's got a bright future in this league, going against Dylan Bundy for the Twins. This game opened at Minnesota minus 185. Now it's sitting at Minnesota around minus 160. The total is sitting at around 8.5. Kevin, where are you looking to find value in this game?
I would actually look at the under, and I would actually lean towards the Royals here. I know the Twins are in must win. There's no way they're going to win the wild card. They have to catch the Guardians and win that division, but they got a 5-game series with the Guardians right after this. It is so hard to sweep a team in the Major League Baseball, so they'd have to get the sweep, and then they start with the Guardians. I think they might overlook the Royals here. And Bundy hasn't been pitching; he's been sporadic. I don't think he's faced the Royals this season, uh, so it, it could go either way here. I like the sharp action. I would take the Royals. I would look at the Royals maybe on the run line, but if that's a little juicy, then I would just take the Royals here. I just think the Twins, they got too much they're looking forward to with the Guardians. That's a 5-game series coming up. I think they're 5 games back. So I mean that matches up well with them. I think both those teams are going to be looking ahead to this series coming up. So I would look at the under, and I would look at the Royals on the money line.
Looking at the Royals to pull off an upset tonight in Minnesota. Excuse me, I said there was in Kansas City. We were playing this game in Minnesota. A question for you, Kevin. So looking at this matchup, and of course I understand looking ahead to Cleveland, but at this juncture in the season, the Twins need every win they can get. Do you still think they have that mentality of, we really need to win these next games with Cleveland? Because of course they do. Or do you think they're saying to themselves, it's now or never. We're facing a team whose number we have this year. We're at home. We got to get this win right tonight and then shift their focus? Or you really think they're fixated on Cleveland next?
I I think that they want to win the game. I I I'm one of those that believe that sometimes these games are a little bit fixed, especially when it comes to the umpire and stuff. They're swayed. It's you follow these money lines and you're always like, it's a little odd. And I did a lot of traveling and met a lot of umpires that have been in the major leagues and stuff, and a lot of them say that today's game seems a little fixed. Uh, I don't know. I just think the sweep, I think that money, the movement, like earlier you were touching about the Marlins line movement and stuff. I don't want to give away anything, but I follow that stuff open heartedly if I see dropping money and stuff. And I'm not, and I used to love Bundy when I always thought he was getting the raw end with the Orioles. Uh, something, I watch him pitch and it's just not what he used to have. I mean, I don't know what's happening with him, but it's hit or miss with him. So I think the Royals can fully upset here.
I think that's a great point. Pulling off a sweep in any series at any point in the season is, of course, a difficult task. The Twins, Bundy have not been great. Lynch not looking great overall, but I like his outlook as a pitcher in the future. And like you said, you can never ignore what the betting market is doing. I am not so happy that, I had the Phillies on that run line. Now that the number came down, maybe that means sharp action on Miami. Similar situation. The fact that this money line has come down so much potentially means that the Royals really are the play tonight. So I could certainly understand those factors and then definitely think that those should be considered. Before we head into this third roundtable game, I wanted to pull out a comment from Charlie's Creations asking about when teams have established that they are out of playoff contention, do those teams go for ranking up stats, or are they just getting through games without injury? So I think that neither of those things are necessarily the case. I think more so where you find that this is more like prevalent is if a team opts then to go to their farm systems and start pulling up players. So if you're a team that's out of contention, more likely than not, you're already begun that rebuild. Or if you haven't, similar to like the Nationals, for example, obviously they were going nowhere. They decided to get rid of their star players, and now they're starting from scratch. So now you can expect the Nationals to be bad next year. When they get eliminated, you're not going to be like, oh, wow, the Nationals are trying to protect these guys. They're trying to see what they have in their system currently, so they can either make moves to get players to replace who they have or build upon those players we get. So I wouldn't say that in terms of like raking up stats or anything. If you have a bad team, for example, maybe the Royals, they have a very good player in Bobby Witt Jr., though he's a rookie, maybe, he is going to go out there every night because they want to get the experience. He's the franchise, one of the cornerstones moving forward. So I think it's more so about evaluating what you have now so you can make improvements this offseason for the next season moving forward. And that's how I personally do that. And when it comes to how I think about it, when it comes to handicapping, you got to understand when those young guys think that they have those times to run, because these guys are young MLB players for a reason, because one day, ideally, they'll be perennial starters in this league. If they're not, as a team now, you got to try to trade them away, put them back down to Double-A, and maybe go find a new cream of the crop. Kevin, do you have any thoughts or comments on this question, or what do you think about this topic?
Yeah, like I agree with you 100% when teams are pretty much out of it. I mean, look at the Marlins. Uh, Chisholm and Solar were scheduled to come back. They're both now out for the season. People want to talk about Sixto Sanchez. I mean, the guy was throwing 100 miles an hour for my Phillies. They trade him to the Marlins in a real Mudo deal. He gets hurt. He was pitching. They thought he was going to come back. He's not even being talked about coming back. So they're going to keep guys from getting injured. The Marlins are a good team that are, as they get healthier, they're going to get good. But why waste? Why get anybody else hurt? And I think maybe more with the veterans that are on a 1 year, that are pretty much their contracts up. They're going to play them, let them go. I was kind of shocked with the Reds though. They went more younger. I don't think Votto's been playing. So I guess it's hit or miss. I mean, if it's a veteran like Trout, I mean, they let him come back. The Angels aren't going anywhere, and they're letting him go full tilt. But they want to fill seats too. I mean, MLB is a dying sport. Yesterday on the First Family Show, Joe D asked me if I thought that Judge was going to break the home run record, and I said I didn't think so. I changed my mind 100% because baseball needs him to break that record. They need fans. They need people in those seats, and the only way they're going to do that is by breaking records. I mean, they want to change the game, make the bases bigger so guys steal more. Soon they're going to be throwing softballs. I mean, they got to play the big names because they got to fill the seats. I mean, if the Phillies were out of it, I'm not going down there to watch their farm system. I want to go see Bryce Harper. I mean, there's no secret in that. I want to see Zach Wheeler. That's what I want to pay for. And these owners, unless they're a marquee like the Yankees, care less about money. It's all about money. It's about filling those seats. So, yeah, I don't know if they care about winning or losing, but those star players are going to play. The only guys you're going to see are guys that are injured or the longer term guys that are prone to injury will probably sit. And some of these young guys, I mean, this is their chance. So when I see a young guy and I read what they're doing in a Double-A, Triple-A, if they're having a good time, then I'm betting them. I'm looking at props if I can find them on them, but I'm riding them because I remember when the Orioles start bringing the farm guys up through. I mean, they're all studs right now, and that's when you can win. When you don't expect them to win, you see that line move a little bit. That's when you want to ride those unexpected rookies and stuff.
I think that was absolutely on point. Excellent, Kevin. Appreciate that. I hope that answers your questions, Charlie, because I think that was a great breakdown. If you were watching the Reds Pirates game that was yesterday, that happened in the afternoon, O'Neal Cruz hit a rocket over the fence, and there was actually 4 people in the left field bleachers. Obviously, I mean, the Pirates and the Reds are 2 teams that clearly are looking to that young youth movement and rebuilding immediately and lack marquee type star players. But it goes to show that overall, though, what is better for the league would obviously be to have some of those star players going. But what's also better for franchises and could be for the league in the long run is getting your young guys up there. You're 19, 20. There's no more waiting until you're 26 years old to finally make your MLB debut. If you have the skills, they'll put you on the diamond and you can prove that you belong to play in this league. So I think that is great. So we're now going to go to the West Coast for our final roundtable game of the day. We're going to be discussing the San Diego Padres headed to Arizona to face the Diamondbacks. D-backs, very tough look of them to make the postseason, but they're still playing hard. Padres, again, we've talked about this ad nauseum on this show. I feel like I've covered the Padres games like my last 3 times being on the show, but they are made those big splash moves around the deadline to make their team a real contender. Their roster, top to bottom on paper, is fantastic. Of course, it hasn't fully meshed the way they'd like it to be. Good news for the Padres is they have the Diamondbacks number this season. They lead the season series 11-4. This pitching matchup, we got Sean Manaea, who has been more or less abysmal this season, a pitcher who had a lot of hope at one point, really not having a great season, facing Dre Jameson, the rookie 25-year-old making his MLB debut tonight for Arizona in front of its home crowd. The Padres, again, talking about some movement. They opened at minus 165 favorites, now sitting at minus 153. The total opened at 9.5. Now it's down to 9. And keep in mind, this is a San Diego Padres team that needs every single win they can get down the line, facing an inferior opponent. Yet this number is moving in the Diamondbacks' direction, and the Diamondbacks have a rookie pitcher on the mound. That goes to say a lot, I think, personally about Manaea. But I'm just curious, Kevin, what do you think about this matchup? What are you seeing when you look at this game?
Yeah. Well, if we look at Mania, his last two games were against the Dodgers, so we can throw those out the window. But still, since he's come to the Padres, I don't think he's anything that they thought they were getting. You could say the same with Juan Soto. I mean, he's just been absent. He hit the home run against the Nationals, and he had like one more after that. So they need these guys to step up big here. But that Arizona Diamondback team in Arizona are a tough crop, and they're 6 games out of the Padres for that number 3 wild card spot. So don't think they're going to lay down here and roll over for the Padres. I mean, they took the win against the Dodgers, and I think they're like 4-2 at home. So they almost swept the Brewers in a 4 game, and then they took one from the Dodgers. So I like Arizona here. I don't know what's going on with the Padres. You know, everyone's like, oh, Tatis. You know, Tatis, he was out for most of the season. And, you know, they got Machado, Soto, they got Bell. I don't get it, but I'm not betting against the Diamondbacks here. I would go ahead and take the Diamondbacks. I know this kid's a rookie coming up here, and but I read some good things about him. 96 to 99 mile fastball. He rides a slider for like a 55% strike rate, so that's all good things there. The only thing I did see is his fastball. Sometimes he hangs it a little high, so we'll see. He had a nice strikeout ratio in Double A, Triple A. He struggled, but it's the unknown. How many innings are they going to give him? You know, Diamondbacks are in it. Maybe he only goes 4 innings, 4.5 innings, and they get to that bullpen. Then they can beat the Padres. But if I think these Padres guys get through 2 or 3 times against him, and we might see a couple long balls here. You know, Arizona, it is a little dry out there, so I like the Diamondbacks here. For some reason, I like the Diamondbacks, and I would probably go on the under. Looks like I'm riding the under on all these games today, but I do like the Diamondbacks, and I do like the under.
Yeah, if the under is what the play of the day is, then it does not matter if that's what you're going for. It looks like in the early White Sox Guardians game, though, an under might be a bad call. That game is sitting at 8. But I actually completely agree with you. And though it is a little bit early, I'm actually going to give out my best bet of the show because it is on this matchup. And because Kevin was on the same side as me, I'm going to, of course, even feel more confident about this. My best bet for this show is taking the Arizona Diamondbacks plus 1.5 on that run line. I gave this out on SportsMemo today prior, so if you haven't caught that episode, make sure to take a look with me and Matt Joseph with Dan Alexander on the show. It was great. But I gave out that play there. I'm giving it out again here as my best bet because that's how confident I am in this play. What Kevin mentioned about this rookie Dre Jameson for the Diamondbacks is all true, and I'm actually very impressed with what he looks like he can be. The kid's 25 years old. He's the number 4 prospect in the Arizona system. It is true that when you look at his AAA stats, I mean, they are not great. 25 starts, 7-3, 6.31 ERA, which obviously, you know, might give you some pause, but I'm more interested in the unknown of this kid pitching in his debut at his home stadium against the guy, Sean Manaea, who has been really bad this season. 7-8, 5.23 ERA, 4.53 FIP. Last 2 starts were against the Dodgers, which while you can discount a little bit, the fact that he got absolutely rocked, 14 runs on 19 hits, really is just, you know, yes, one of the best lineups, if not the best in baseball. That's still abysmal because this is a guy who had a lot of promise at one point. They tried him out in the bullpen, even give him an inning there because that's probably where he'll be in the playoffs if the Padres are able to hold on to that spot. But on the road, I mean, that ERA shoots up to a 6.27. It's got a 4.87 slugging percentage against. FIP actually drops to a 4.13. That whip stays similar to 1.38. But and the Padres are slightly better on the road this year. But overall, this season as a favorite, the Padres only have covered the run line. They're 36-63 covering that. And the Diamondbacks as a dog, 62-42. They're better at home than they are on the road this year. I like the uncertainty actually with this pitcher going for Arizona. So my best bet of that show is going to be Arizona run line plus 1.5. So, Kevin, we've made it to the best bet segment. Tell the viewers, please, what you have going on the premium side, what you're looking to maybe have for this weekend, football, any other sports, and then, of course, your best bet for the MLB slate tonight.
Oh yeah, NFL tonight. Yeah, you got the Chiefs hosting the Chargers. It's going to be a great one there. That's my banger tonight. And then you can also get I got 2 MLB plays tonight. One of them was on the Phillies game. So you can look into those. And my best bet, I'm going back to the Padres. I talked about Juan Soto struggling and stuff, but back to Dre Jameson. The kid throws heat. Juan Soto is one of those guys that likes a nice fastball. If he throws a 99-mile fastball and he misses up and in, that ball's gone. And I believe he does get a home run tonight. He hasn't hit one in a long time. I think it was on 828 or 823 or something. So you can get plus 425 for Juan Soto to hit a home run. I'm not saying the Padres are going to win. I just think him or Machado is going to see some pitches from this kid. You know, the Diamondbacks are saying, hey, don't pitch to Machado, pitch to Juan. And this is the kind of kid that Juan can take distance. So I would take that one home run.
Juan Soto to hit a home run plus 425. You heard it here from Kevin. Kevin, anything special on the promotion side for you right now, or we're just sticking to the potential buying the all access for MLB, NFL, NCAA for you?
Yeah, just daily. I put out the picks daily. I like to wait a little bit for the lines. You know, I should have waited a little bit on the Chargers, or maybe jump a little early on that line. You know, it's been moving around with the Chiefs. So, and then the total, I didn't really get into that too much. Could be a high scoring game, could be a low score game. You know, Thursdays tend to be low, but these are two of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm excited to watch this game. I can't wait to see what happens tonight. It's going to set the stage for week 2 for me. But Friday, probably afternoon, I'll start having all my college locked in for Saturday. So can look forward to that. Or take a 7-day pass, or, you know, I think they have that partner up with like 3-pack of cappers. I mean, hell, that's a great deal. You get 3 great minds on 1 or 2 picks, you know, holy shit. So check that out too.
Yeah, of course. Certainly check that out. That is one of the best things that we are offering here at SportsMemo. So, on behalf of Kevin and myself, I'd like to thank everybody for viewing. Please hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that little notification bell so every time we go live, you are notified. For myself, premium side this weekend, I am dropping my week 2 NFL All Access whenever I get my first pick of the weekend. So it could be, you know, it could be later tonight, it could be Friday, it could be Friday night, Saturday, but whenever it is, no matter what, I will add every single play that I have for the NFL that weekend into that package, all one spot, one price. So certainly love to take advantage of that. Again, thank you everybody for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Have a great rest of your day, and best of luck with all your bets tonight.